no man has a right to take the life of another. The life of a human being is sacred, and we are all created in the image and the likeness of God. To those who are Christians, to those who are Muslims, they know that we are created by Allah, who is the creator of the fourth heavens, the most compassionate, the most merciful. And to those who are pagan, they know we are created by their gods in their shrines. To those who have no religion at all, understand the fate of karma and know that karma is real, and know that you cannot and should not take the life of another. We have been experiencing these, that human lives being sacred from the time of the 1990 right straight to 2015. The sacredness of the life of human being cannot be overemphasized. That is why all constitutions across the globe, whether it is a dictatorial government, whether it is a liberal government, whether it is a monarchical government, all constitutions lay emphasis on the protection of the lives of the human beings and the lives of the citizens of that nation. But since the ongoing Anglophone crisis sprouted in early 2017, let me use it that way, when it metamorphosed into an armed conflict, the sacredness of human beings' life has been desecrated. Killing has become new normal. I remember a point in time when people were killed, and when they are killed by virtue of the fact that they were guilty, it would be very difficult for their bodies to be displayed. But this day in Cameroon, displaying of dead bodies have become a new normal by the belligerent as a war victory. And I ask the question, what lies the moral value of a constitution that lays emphasis on the sacredness of life and the protection of properties? And I also ask a question, when we display, when we behead, when we butcher, when we kill men and women who ought to contribute to the social, political, and economic development of our country, what do we hold in essence of Vision 2035? There is a part in our anthem that the worth no tongue can tell. The worth in which human beings' sacredness of life has been desecrated in Cameroon within the context of the ongoing Anglophone crisis, no tongue can tell. The worth in which we just destroy the lives of people in the northwest and the southwest region, either by virtue of our ideological belief or by virtue of protecting national unity, no tongue can tell. Each day, at least a person is being killed in the northwest and southwest region, either directly or indirectly. And as days goes by, we ask the question that the land of promise, the land of glory, and deep endowment forevermore, what has become of this land of promise, land of glory, and deep endowment forevermore? Just recently, we have seen the killing of at least 5 unarmed civilians in CDC, TIKO, banana plantation. These are men and women whose only crime was to put food on their table. These are men and women whose only crime was to contribute to the GDP of the nation. These are men and women whose only crime was to fight against food insecurity. These are men and women whose only crime was the ability to promote the economy and to ensure that human beings in Boya, TIKO, and those across the nation have something to eat. These are not ENAMS graduates. These are not governors. These are not members who are working as top government officials. These are not members who have embezzled state funds. These are not members who have a certain level of high profile within the community and the society. These are ordinary members who feel the pain as you feel it. These are members who feel also what you caption marginalization. They too feel it. These are men and women who also endure the pains, the hardship, the increment of taxes. These are men and women who also suffer the epileptic nature of electricity, inadequate supply of water. These are men and women who are like you. They were shot and killed in cold blood by alleged armed fighters of the Southern Cameroon's group in TIKO. Some were injured, and I asked a question: what has become of those who claim they have come for liberation? No one has a right to take the lives of another. And as Cameroon's president made his speech on the 10th of February, we could see how promised and how agile he said, and he promised that things will be for the youth. I am not a politician, but within this reflection, as we start this program, House of Commons, I want us to ask ourselves some basic questions. What do we hold as values as Cameroonians, or as those who think they want a separation of a nation? What do you hold as values? Who are those you are protecting? Who are those you want to govern? Who are those you want to ensure they live a life of legacy? At the end of the day, we shall all be accounted for the things we did and those we failed to do. As for me and my household, I will serve God and I'll preach peace. This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Jarvis. Thanks for joining us on today's edition of our program. We have two topics. We are looking at the killing of 5 CDC workers in TIKO, as also we shall be diving straight into Bia's Youth Day celebration speech. We will look at the promise, the achievement, and the doubt within the minds of Cameroonians. And before I introduce to you my members with whom we are going to start our discussion, I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday, straight from the School of Engineering, straight from the School of Engineering in the Catholic University of Boya, who celebrated her birthday last week, 4th of February 2023. And of course, a special happy birthday to myself, because yesterday, 11th of February, was a day that I was born, 11th of February, as I announced to you last week, and that this week, this Sunday, I will celebrate this Sunday. Hopefully, you will join me in the celebration. To those of you who have been watching the program and you want to join me in the celebration, my number is on your screen. You know what to do. You can join us as Fengu John Bange Kotobo Namusadi at the end of this program, or you can reach me out if you have something to give me as a birthday present. I begin with you introducing my guest, Desmond Emmanuel. He is a co-founder of the New Era Youth for Africa, an institution, a non-governmental organization that is striving to ensure that the protection of lives across Africa and the unity of Africa is promoted within African context, not the contextual West mentality. Desmond, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Tah Mai Jarvis. It's a pleasure to be here once again. I greet all the co-panelists and the viewers of this program. It's always a pleasure to be on your platform. And the topics we have at hand today are topics that are very touching, especially when it comes to the human life. I hope and wish we should be up to the task of handling them. Thank you.
Ignatius, thanks for joining us, and happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Jarvis. Happy Sunday, Emmanuel and Mr. Nick. I doubt the time that we will stop mourning, because really we are mourning. I'm still dreaming about the time when Cameroonians will stop mourning. Before I continue, I would also like to. Yesterday was the 57th National Youth Day. I wish to greet the Cameroonian youth, who should be resting today after celebrating the Youth Day all over the national territory. And not forgetting my friends of soft education through Director Adamu Vigne and Madame Tanya Ida. We have a lot to discuss. Once more, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and also Nick Anu, thanks for joining us, and a happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Tah Mai Jarvis, and happy Sunday to our fellow panelists. Happy Sunday to the followers of House of Common My Media Prime all over the globe. And thank you also for having me here once again. And yeah, we look forward to discussing salient issues that are bothering our nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. These are the gentlemen with whom we are going to have a one-hour discussion on today's edition of our program. I begin with you, Dewum Emmanuel. The sacredness of life has been desecrated, and killing has become new normal by both sides. When you heard the news about the killing of 5 CDC workers, you are of New Era for Africa, New Era Youth for Africa, and when you see this kind of killings taking place, what holds the future of the country, and how much impact will these have in terms of Africa, the mentality that people have about Africans?
I have often said, Tah Mai Jarvis, if at one point liberators become predators, it becomes problematic. The saddest part of it is that these 5 citizens who were killed were women. And I'm not sure that the key to the independence of Southern Cameroon was found inside their purse or inside their basket. I'm not sure that anywhere along the line we were told that if these 5 women were wasted, the independence would come. Because even if independence one day by chance comes, that independence will have to go with the people that you have to rule. Then what happens if at the end you have an independent and you have nobody to rule? What happens if at the end of the day, before the so-called independent comes, you have killed those you were supposed to rule over? I think there is a need, and sincere need, for a rethink. I will repeat again today. You can convince people to buy your ideology. Don't kill them to buy your ideology. When you kill them, who then lives on to manifest this ideology? It is very sad. And it is New Era Youth for Africa condemns that kind of an action with the last energy in it. That said, in your intro, you made very important point that on the 2 sides, people have been dying. If you reach out to the Amber Boys, they will tell you that it is because these people disrespected their laws. They flout their laws. And I ask, since when did killing become an equivalent to the punishment of violating a law? Are you sure that before this period, if the national army or military of this country was acting this way, Cameroon would have succeeded to still be one, if at all it has ever been one till date? No. There is a need to have a rethink, Tah Mai Jarvis. And what shocks me again is that there are some periods in this country that have become very dangerous. The period of 11 February is one. 20th May is another one. And I want to think that the government continues to show signs of failure, complete failure. Because these are periods when citizens are called to stand up and celebrate national events. Yet, nothing is being put in place in terms of the security of this population. And when they are dead or when they are killed, The same government that told us that this war was over, they go mute. To them, human life doesn't matter. So in this case, you discover that the two camps have desecrated, let me repeat your words, the two camps have desecrated human life and human dignity. Life, which was supposed to be sacred, has been made a sacrilege. Life, which was supposed to be divine, and that can only be touched by that divine creator,
It's been devoured.
have been devoured. And we can only blame the person who has the yam and the knife. Because, like I've often said, if this government wants this killing to end today, it takes just the will. Once in a while, we should be able to score the shots where they belong. You have seen the case of Zogo, and you have seen it has been proven scientifically that Cameroon can be, in terms of renseignement or security services, can be one of the top investigators in Africa. It has not taken them weeks to be able to lay fingers on the perpetrators or on the supposed suspects or perpetrators. But may I remind you along the line that rumors in Cameroon are always real. So at the end of the day, I take rumors first for reality. Now you understand that Cameroon government, if they want to stop this killing, if they want to end this war, they will do it. When such heinous crimes keep being perpetrated every day, and the government is doing little or nothing to abet them, I want to think that the government has abandoned the citizens of Northwest and Southwest to the mercy of God.
When you say the government, as you made a statement that the government shows complete failure during such period of 11 February and 20 May to protect people when they call for people to come out en masse. Now, you also say that to them, life doesn't matter, but the government will say that they have security in almost all the territory, the localities within the Northwest and Southwest region.
No, they are true. They will be right. They will be right in saying so.
And that you also say you blame the head of the head, and it's not President Biya who shot at these 5 persons.
No, Mr. Tah Mai Jarvis, they are right to say that they have security everywhere. Do you know the security they're talking about? Their own security. The security of those officials there. The SDOs, the DOs, the delegates, they have the security. What then becomes of the common man? And when you say they were not shot by President Biya, when Cameroon wins a match, it is Mr. Biya that they applaud, CBDM applauds Mr. Biya. Then why do you think that if a Cameroonian falls to that, I should not blame Mr. Biya? Mr. Biya is the alpha and the omega. If we are leading a country on high instruction of the head of state, anything that goes wrong, we should hold him accountable. If a citizen is gone down in his country, he should equally take it. Because when the Lions are playing a match and they finally win, we thank the head of state. When people want to embezzle, they thank the head of state. So when a citizen dies, let's also for once accuse the head of state. He's omnipresent, he's everywhere. Even in this studio, he's here.
No, but people thanking the head of state is for their personal aggrandizement. It's not we thank the head of state, thank the head of state.
Have you ever heard that somebody came out and thanked the head of state, and the head of state convoked that person to say, never thank me again? You have seen that all the criminals, all the thieves that are littered everywhere in Konengi. And I'm happy because for the first time, I will appreciate Mr. Biya for the role of justice that he has taken towards the cause of Nzogo. How I wish it was the same thing with Wazizi. You know, 3 years ago, I said, and it was in this platform, if the Cameroonian government is refusing to construct infrastructure in this country, there is one infrastructure that should not escape their mind. Very beautiful and large prisons. Because I knew that one day, this very government, that will be their ending house for retirement.
They are not going the late Estimuna way of promoting that prison should be built.
No. Muna was promoting that the prison should be built for his people. Now, I am saying that prison should be built for the top officials of this country, because that's where the retirement will be.
Okay.
And it has started already. We are seeing it.
Okay. Happy birthday, Tah Jarvis. Talking about the sacredness of life and how it has been desecrated. I think we could find and identify those military guys that behead Sam Sawyer. That will be the beginning of the way forward, because that was where all started. Abraham from Yaoundé. Abraham, but we cannot only lay emphasis on that. Now it has not become a new normal where people just start killing, and so we can only lay emphasis just on one side. This other one, right? It says, "Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Happy birthday. I love this program. My point is that the Amber Boys keep on killing the Northwest and Southwest. Who will they finally control of the independence? I am sure it will be dead bodies." Tashe Jerry Lamley, writing from Gown Dairy. As continue with you, Ignatius. Ignatius, the killings of these 5 CDC workers, as well as the injury of others, this is something that a lot of people have captioned the killing of unarmed civilians, and something that ought not to be tolerated. Remember that we are few days to count the anniversary of the Ngabu incident that happened on Valentine's Day, and this time we are now having a reciprocal from the other side.
Yes, that's why I said that we are here to mourn, and I don't know when we shall, this morning will end. Jarvis, I saw an image on social media where I saw a mother hen that with the chicks that were just around 5 days old. The mother hen is lying on the ground, and then the chicks surrounded their mother, and some even climbed on their mother. Look, they didn't even know what was going on. They didn't know that their mother was already dead. So that is to say that when you are taking the life of one person away, you have to know the consequences that surround it are unmeasurable. Really, this incident, if you want to see deeply the people that are really dying, if you see Jarvis, if you happen to be closer to a worker of CDC, those are the people. One of that group, they earn also very low salary. These are poor people who are even unable to feed themselves, really, to send their children to school. And these are the people who are killed. They cannot stay in the house. Their children need food. And if you kill them, the message that I want to send to the Amber Boys is that they have to understand that in the Germans were defeated in Cameroon during the First World War because the Cameroonians, the indigents, hated the Germans. They didn't like the kind of treatment that was given to them by the Germans. The Germans were like enemies to them. So when the French and the British army invaded Cameroon, these citizens helped to show the hideout and even the magazine where the Germans were keeping their guns to the French and the British soldiers. That's how it was easy for the Germans to be defeated in Cameroon. So the Amber Boys, you say that you are fighting for the people. I can see many of them now falling. Really is something which was not like that before. They have to learn a lesson that what is happening now, their number that is being killed per year is increasing. They have to understand that the people who used to be your friends are now becoming your enemy. If those people are becoming, they don't speak, is because they are afraid of you. You have to reason like human being. I don't really know whether this is the spirit you have they were having from the beginning, and we are here condemning killing, either from the government forces or the Amber side, because really I'm seeing but the consequences, the family behind. Jarvis, when you see, let me take one example from the government forces. You can see a widow who was abandoned, the husband died, and allowed a widow who is very young. She struggled to do some farm work and struggled to send maybe the first child to join the National Army. thinking that that one was going to be the liberator of the family, that is going to bring the other ones up. You see, the young man will go into the army and he is killed. Now begin to see there are some mothers that they go mad. You saw killing one soul, and then you go to the side of the other side of the Amber. You will see you can find a child whose family has been wiped off. The entire family has been killed. And then you see the child becomes stranded and just become the child does not more reason like a normal human being. So that's why I'm saying that killing, we have to understand the Amber themselves, they are exaggerating. One lesson is that anything that you are doing, when you derail from it and start doing what is not the right thing, you carry curse. This statement, I'm saying it. This statement goes to the Ambers and even the government soldiers. We know soldiers who have caused atrocities. Well, I can easily say that those of them who are easily killed is because of the curse that you already carry. If you go and see the innocent souls and you kill instead of the enemy that you were supposed to follow up, and then you kill somebody who has nothing, you carry a curse. And the way God curses is that the next time you will go for a battle, you will be the first person that they will kill. And then on the government side, I'm very, very disappointed. On the government side, it has become a kind of a game of propaganda. You see, when the Amber succeed to kill government, because see, the game here is that for one soldier to be killed, you will not count the number of civilians that have been killed. For one Amber to be killed, you will not count the number of civilians that have been. But now, when the Amber kill one soldier, they go on celebration. They've posted on Facebook, and now the government side, which we consider the government side to be to be the side that has dignity, when they kill also some of this Amber, they carry it to the public place for celebration. If they forget the civilian that they were supposed to protect. The civilian, that's why they don't more announce when a civilian is killed, which means that all of them, they don't care about the citizens in the background. So the government should also stop this your kind of propaganda, and which the government and what they also believe. You know, some people misunderstand us. When you show sympathy for a person killed, they say that you are Amber supporter. It's not like that. We condemn killing or both sides, because even the government forces that are killed, the Anglophones that are killed there, it's not only since they say that it's some sort of a war against the government. The Anglophones are their own brothers and sisters that are killed there. So we condemn killing on both sides. So my message to the government is that you should leave propaganda aside, because the government also is trying to play another game. When it is paining, is something that is happening within the Anglophone elite or themselves. The government is like trying to say that the war will continue and die a natural death. That's why the phone of Bambara is still on captivity. The Indian, the Indian 5, they don't care. The Norway's chief of prison guard, you see that one, they think there's Barasa Kemende, they think just pass like that. You don't hear even the media singing, as in this case we are talking about Zogo like that. So that's why it is like when it is facing the Anglophones, they consider is your war that you started, you have to fight within, you kill yourself and die. The government should carry its own responsibility. And then the fighters also, you have to understand that the people you are killing are the people you announce that you are protecting them.
Nick Anu, you've experienced these. When you heard about the news of the person killed, these 5 persons killed, what came to your mind and what's your reaction as far as this is concerned?
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind was the locality where this incident happened. Yeah, if you have been following the outbreak of the armed conflict from 2017 to now, you will notice that the towns of like TIKO, we've not really witnessed those kind of incident that masterminded to the killing of such individuals. Yes, maybe in the beginning we used to have gunshots there, but we have never really heard that kind of killing happening there. So the first thing that happened to my mind was like a kind of surprise, because for so long we have not heard maybe gunshots around there. We have families that live there, we've not heard gunshot. So it was like some of us thought that there were no armed groups existing in that area again. So when I saw that the killing, it was just like a surprise to me. I was like wondering that where were these guys? Where does it mean that they still have armed groups existing in that particular area? Because for other areas we know actions take place all the time, but for TIKO, it was just like a surprise to me. Yeah, it is a consequence of war. War is meant to kill. War is not like a scenario where you go and play. It's meant to kill, but our question or our bone of contention should be, why is there a war in the first place? The government is supposed to be held accountable or responsible for all of this stuff, because for now the government has been playing around to think that the conflict should die a natural death. And from this incident we see that it is very, very far-fetched from ending if something is not done urgently. It is innocent civilians that were killed. We don't actually know who killed them, because we've not really heard armed groups owning up to say
but they never do take responsibility when it comes to such killing. When it's heavily condemned, they never do take responsibility. We can quote cases where live testimony, eyewitness accounts have proven, even from credible investigation from Reporters Without Borders, from other credible institutions, they have never claimed responsibility.
Yeah, but so it is somehow so difficult to apportion blame or point fingers to who is responsible, because we know the nature of the conflict is very complex. Sometimes some incidents are not carried out by so-called Amber boys. You cannot. It is sometimes very difficult to differentiate who is an Amber boy and who are hoodlums taking advantage of the situation, and so on. It is sometimes very difficult to differentiate between the two. So, but at the end of the day, we still blame the government for not initiating peace. Of recent, we had the Canadian peace negotiation, and we thought that maybe that was a sign of relief to this conflict, until the government came out openly and played a Pontus pilot affair on it and denied that they were not involved in the process. So all of these things is like confusing to us. We sometimes see that the government is not like willing to resolve this conflict, and sometimes we don't understand within the government who is really in support of the war, because the killing of the journalist Martinez Zogo has given us another face of understanding how the Cameroon government functions. We sometimes, from the scenario, we have seen that the government is like a kind of cabal, that some people are for this and some people are for that. So it is a very complex situation, and we pray that maybe in the days ahead, this kind of scenario should not repeat itself. Of course, the government should be serious in peace, this kind of peace negotiation. There is no war that will not end at the negotiation table. But the government keeps kind of playing like the Frenchman said, the bras de fer, playing the strong man. The strong man mentality in this case will not help anybody. If it is for 6 years going, and we are still witnessing the killing of innocent civilians, we think that if it continues like this, maybe in the next 10, 15, 20 years, we will not have a solution. So it is a kind of a regrettable situation. We are sending our special condolences to the bereaved families that were involved in this. And sometimes to the civilians, sometimes you have to apply wisdom in most of these situations. We live in a war-torn zone. Sometimes to be safe, when such situations happen, it is better to stay at home and be safe than to be out and such unfortunate situation happen to you. Staying at home doesn't mean that you're weak. It is just maybe simple wisdom sometimes when they announce most of these lockdowns and so on. sometimes it is better. We know the attitudes of the separatist fighter towards CDC right from the beginning of this conflict. At first, where CDC workers were not really key. At first, we knew separatist fighters that were championing their hands to be workers, that their hands should be chopped off and so on. But I think right from that time, we've not heard the outright killing of the CDC workers up to maybe this scenario that happened. So we're just pleading that maybe sometimes, if you live in those who live in this war-torn zone, you have to use a lot of wisdom most of the time, because the military cannot protect everybody at every point. If you notice the military camp, there's a military camp a new military camp that is constructed around that Camp 7, around TIKO. I think there's a military base there. But it doesn't guarantee
they are protecting themselves.
It doesn't guarantee them protecting other civilians. So that's a kind of complex situation.
Now, why you see bags of sand at the front of every police checkpoint and Janam point, which means that their security, first of all, is not guaranteed. Yes. But what I wanted to say, Jarvis, before you come with your next question, is that, to be sincere with you, Africa as a whole needs to have a rethink. They need to evaluate the benefits and the benefits of war and the losses of war, because I think that one of the factors that have put Africa behind in development. I'm not saying that there are no wars anywhere, but the bottom line again is that in all of this, nobody wins a war. Okay. Nobody wins it. The only person who wins a war is the arms dealer.
Happy birthday, Jarvis. We are happy birthday, Jarvis. Where are we popping the champagne and cutting the cake? Fengu Jombange Koto. Fengu Jombange is where we are popping the champagne and cutting the cake. Mr. Rene from Yuka. And also, you can also send me your gift, Mr. Rene. My number is on your screen. You know how you can reach me out. You want to give me a gift. The message continue. The very person who champions the accusation of Zogo was behind the Aya Foundation, and anything concerning the justice, arrest, and detention. Let the hand of the law for the first time bring Zogo's killers as well as Wazizi. No peace for the wicked. Mr. Rene, writing from Muyuka. This one right. It says where Mr. Jarvis, I really like your program. The killing of 5 workers from CDC is very sad, but who is the killer? You blame who? The government is blaming the separatists. Why the separatists blame the government? The government must be blamed for that. They have not protected the citizens. They only protect the hierarchy. This other one, right, it says good morning, Mr. Jarvis, and happy birthday. Thank you very much. It says what is happening in Cameroon today is so devastated, and that the government is doing nothing to salvage the situation. When politics doesn't give room for skills and talent, create system for accountability and diversity for people to be able to express themselves, to contribute, to facilitate the public will and the public interest. As concerning the killing in TIKO and most places today is something that no tongue can tell. The killing now is like a trophy within both forces. We need God. Martinez Manga, writing from Douala. Martinez Manga, thank you for your birthday wishes. This all right. It says happy birthday to you. Jarvis, talking about the sacredness of life. Thank you. Your message is gotten. Good afternoon, sir. I am Yakubu, writing from Bafmeng, enjoying your program. Thank you very much, Yakubu, writing from Bafmeng. This already says happy birthday to you, Mr. Jarvis. Thank you very much. This other message reads: the killing of 5 CDC workers is the consequence of the war in southern Cameroon. It began with the arrest of lawyers and teachers. Today, nobody is talking about Obo is talking about the root cause of the southern Cameroon. For how long shall we continue to cry war? For how long shall we continue to cry for our loved ones? Killing can never be a solution to any problem. This is coming from Edward in Fumbot. Mr. Jarvis, when you come to Boya, when you come to Boya, bring your big sister's own cake at GBS Ndongo. Thank you very much. Your message is gotten. This other right, it says happy Sunday to you guys and happy birthday. I am completely disappointed in the Anglophone diaspora. A man like Chris Anu went celebrating the death of the CDC workers. I don't know what such devils think in their mind. They should stop killing innocent people. They will never achieve their goal. They have failed in their mission. From Abiyaman Bamenda, happy birthday, Jarvis. Thank you very much for your birthday wishes. I also look forward to receive my birthday presents from you people. Do Emmanuel, the killings that happened in TIKO, some had said it was a move to destabilize the Youth Day celebration, which was planned for 11th of February. But sadly, after the killing of these 5 people, the Youth Day happened in TIKO as nothing happened. So the sacredness of that life, like nothing happened, like nobody got killed.
Well, we lost them. We will continue to lose them if the right things are not done. Since 2017, like Mr. Ignacio said a while ago, I think it should be Nick Anu. You see, there is this bread affair that the government is doing. The government says 11 February must go on. He's free. At times we see them, even their military, they go and march in a place of the people. We see a few people gathered under duress to come and march. And anything that a people does, which is not out of their will, is not real. Again, on the side of the Amber Boys, they have always come out to say nothing will hold, but it has always ended up holding. Though we must note that it holds timidly, and the killing of these people is just one of the many prices that the civilians are paying for such a senseless war that would not have been declared on the people in the first place.
What I think it would not have been declared. Anyway, land.
I think at one point in time, when you make an error and you discover there was an error, you rapidly try to correct it. If taking the war option was what maybe the president thought could solve the Anglophone problem, and 7 years down the line, Jarvis, he discovers that it has not been a bed of roses, I think he can still reverse the game. He should call for a dialogue. Calling for a dialogue this time with clear-cut project to end the war. And that should involve even the common man in Sabongari, in Mwa, everywhere. Because these are the people who suffer the heat of this war more than any other person. So, the killing has not ended. We are discussing it. We are hoping to discuss another killing again if us ourselves were still alive, because you and I, we take the risks to still go to these zones and come back. One never can tell. But then I want to tell, like I said a while ago, the Amber Boys need to rethink their strategy. If you finish killing all your people and independence come, with whom will you celebrate that independence? That is a very big question mark. They need everything, because the damage on their own people is becoming more than the damage from the people they used to call occupiers. And I want to think that when you have a problem with your wife in the house, If you fail to treat the problem in the house, you end up sending your wife maybe to fall in love with somebody who is a passerby, because she'll be tempted to fall where she can get fortress. So at this point, we should not be hypocrites to say we are not disappointed with our Amber boys. I remember the last time I was in Fundong, I was asked to sit by the roadside by our own very brothers, children that I taught in school. I mean, that is the independence we have been fighting for. And we keep saying that no matter how good your idea is, if you paddle it wrongly, it gives you wrong results. The wrong result they are getting now is that they have pushed the population to turn away and to turn against them. Not because the population is not for the ideology of the Southern Cameroonians, because of the torture they have meted on the people on the ground. Beating an old man. I visited Mbingo Hospital and I saw an old man beaten to near death because the son is a gendarme. And they said they went to ask for support, and the old man said he was not having any coin. He was beaten to near death. These are facts that are verifiable. And for the government of Cameroon to still be thinking that this war is winnable, on both sides it is unwinnable, and to think that they still have control over these boys is a lie. It's a lie. Because if the government was having control over these boys, these atrocities would be minimized, Jarvis. So I think
now you made
both sides need to rethink.
You made a statement that the war would not have been, if the war would not have been declared, and the question now many may want to find out, declared by who? And
no, this is a long-standing argument that many people have been struggling to defend. Mr. Abia declared war. I am not the one. Well, he declared war. The question we have been asking until date is, he said he was declaring war against terrorists in Northwest and Southwest. And the question we have been asking for the real definition of who is a terrorist in that region. Because I don't see how lawyers became terrorists because they went to the street. I don't see how teachers became terrorists because they went to the street, Jarvis. And to have thought that war was the best option was a miscalculation of the 21st century. Because 7 years down the line, we are not seeing results. We are not seeing results. And like I've always said, this word terrorist has done a lot to promote this war. When I used to say the real terrorists in this country were based in Yaoundé, and that we could cite them if we were given the opportunity to be free after citing them. People used to be angry with me. But today we are beginning to see the revelation, the handwork of God is already picking out those terrorists that were there. But from the beginning, when the president was declaring war, these same terrorists who were in Yaoundé, they were there using some of their tribalistic channels to call us dogs, rats, cats, that they should go and wipe off everything in the Anglophone zone. So Jarvis, I know that the president declared war. To whom he declared war are those people he called terrorists. Who are those terrorists? Are the people I have not yet identified in Northwest and Southwest. Even though our brothers who are now in the bushes, they are giving some reason, because if they continue the way they are giving reason to Mr. Abia to say that no, he was right to have said he was declaring war against terrorists. Because you cannot be terrorizing your own people, asking them to sit down for no just cause. So I think there is a need for them to rethink.
Greetings to everyone. It's Vincent from Loom. It is really regrettable that is happening in our country. We need to understand that most Cameroonians live from hand to mouth. They really makes it difficult to stay at home during these lockdown days. We shouldn't forget that it is hunger and that it is punishing us out. Coming from anonymous sender, NS right, it says greetings to you in the studio, especially to Bobe Ndiwum Emmanuel. When you are the manager of a company and one morning part of the company is on fire and the manager cannot explain the cause or quench it, it means the manager is unable and they need to be sacked or resign. Thousands of people have died since 2016 and are still dying. So we really have a government. Do we really have a president? From one side incident to another, we are living today just by the grace of God. Imagine your TV station was in the southwest or northwest region. Prince Ernest writing from Limbe. This one right, he says, good morning, killing will never resolve the problem. I don't know if torture can make someone, I don't know if torture can make me to love the one who tortured or put pain in my heart. Love can solve problem, but now that your very brothers are not shown love. Mami Kane writing from Bavusan. Greetings, panelists. At what time we are not happy with our Amber boys? Please, the last panelist should withdraw the statement. I know he never meant that. Romy from Boya. The last panelist just spoke is the one talked about the fact that no Amber boys, and they said he should withdraw the statement. At what time are we not happy with our Amber boys? Please, the last panel listed panelists should withdraw the statement.
No, Javi, we have time to discuss important topics.
No, I know. I'm just reading messages. Good afternoon, Mr. Jarvis, and we really cry for peace. Talking of killing 4 people, we are 4 people were shot yesterday in Baninyonga. 4 were shot yesterday in Baninyonga. This is another message coming from an anonymous sender. We have just 2 or 4 minutes to talk about this, round of this. What should be the way forward for this incessant killing?
The way forward is a dialogue, a true dialogue, because what took place in 2018, we should not, was it 2018, the Grand National Dialogue, we should not learn to be dealing with replica. A replica is something that resembles the original thing. So those who were convocated for this dialogue of 2018 in the name of the separatists were replica. There's a group of people that was created to come and stand and talk on the behalf of the separatist leader. So we are seeing the result today. The result is that the Grand National Dialogue did not work, and then we need for a lasting solution is a dialogue, so that these guys will also drop their arms, because right now we don't know who is even this thing that happened in TIKO and in TIKO Jarvis. There's something that if the government was serious, the government would have discovered it. I made an investigation sometime where I come from. I realized that people were complaining that a group of Amber boys came somewhere with this Yamaha sound, this Yamaha that are government bike. Where do they take those bikes from? A group of Amber boys. And now I begin to ask a question to myself, that where are the bikes that were distributed in the Northwest region, core, that they were given to the vigilante group? Where are the bikes? And now journalists should go do investigation and see whether somebody has ever seen them. Yes.
Let me cue
you. Let me add before you answer me. The investigation should also be done, because since those groups were created, who has ever seen that group passing somewhere? I think this is something that you journalists should have making an investigation, because since we have never heard their existence.
The last journalist that did such an investigation is Zogo. So are you saying that we should
where are the vigilante groups, and where are the bikes that were distributed to the 70 bikes in the Northwest region? Where are they? Because things are happening like this one in TIKO, we begin to doubt.
They are calling us to move.
Is it not one?
Rwanda we should be waziralized or zugolized. Anyway, that was on a lighter mode. Good. You raised that issue, but Senator Mundi was kidnapped with his car. So the armed guys can as well take we have had a lot of cases where people are
True.
Their cars are taken, their bikes are taken.
True, but 70 bikes were distributed in the Northwest. Where are the vigilante group? Where
Maybe
are they working?
stolen.
Because the population is not seeing them.
No, maybe they were stolen.
Where are they?
Maybe the bikes were stolen.
So they gathered in and put in one magazine there. Amber came and carried them away. What are we saying here?
So
we are doubting, Jarvis. I'm saying, instead giving knowledge to the government that there's something on the ground that they need to know. We don't know who is causing atrocity now in the background. The government need to be serious so that we can unveil those people who are using the war for other benefits.
Okay. Let me just take on some few messages. Good day and happy birthday. I am Kumli Elvis from TIKO. Sir, the government should be blamed for this killing, for not initiating genuine peace to end the war. I will end by thanking the head of state for this massacre. Why do you thank the head of state for this now, brother? Jerome said everything we should thank. This one right, he says please don't call us. Good day, Mr. Jarvis, and happy birthday. Please let reason like one man. Killing this innocent, armless worker, what gain has been achieved? Are you going to succeed your mission by killing those you call your own? Who is fooling who? Is CDC the cause of this issue or crisis? My heart beats for the spilling of innocent blood. I rest my case, my brother. That was my lamentation when I started today's program. Only God can resolve the problem of Cameroon. Our leaders are confused. Our brothers and sisters no longer value human life. Kumbong Julius is writing from Mongo Division. What possibly could be the reason behind this? Because we all saw that 11th February celebration in TIKO, under normal circumstances with such massacre, many thought that it was not going to be successful, but it was highly colorful. Are the people not tired with this armed conflict?
There is nobody who can be jubilate in a war situation. At one point in time, people will get tired of the war. So that warrant, it has been normal. The TIKO has, at the beginning of the crisis, has never really been like other places. Most of those events, people have been coming out and so on. So this one was not like supposed to be so much of a difference. And the killing of the 5 people is a sad incident, and yeah, we only pray that such should not repeat itself. And it is just an indication to show that the amount of armed groups that are still on ground is nothing to is something we should not underestimate, or the government should not underestimate that, and think that this conflict will just end by just force. You cannot like impose a forceful solution on the people. The government should come out clear whether they are into the Canadian peace-led process. They should come out clear and tell the Cameroonian people. It should not be like a show of force that maybe the government is involved in something and doesn't want to come out clear and tell the people. They are our elected officials. They owe us accountability to whatever they do, whether in secret or in public. They're supposed to come out clear and tell the Cameroonian people what they are doing to solve this problem. Not like hiding in a place as if it is a secret society that they are into. And they best know the solution to end this conflict, as we have been singing on this studio for the past years. The solutions have never changed. The solutions will always be on the dialogue table. And all the parties involved will always come one day and sit on that dialogue table. It was supposed to be something to applaud the separatist groups, the different groups that even came together to show interest into this negotiation.
Okay.
For the past 5 or 6 years, we have not seen that.
You are saying, are you sure that the separatists themselves wanted this talk? Because we saw how they came celebrating, but before the celebration, we have had a lot of division in the statement made by the Canadian government. Ayabacho Lucas said they should remove the word northwest and southwest. This person said they should remove this, that. But is that not starting precondition?
Yeah, it was just a talk to negotiate or to enter into. It was just a kind of pre-talks. It was just not like a full negotiation they were entering into. It was just in a kind of a pre-talk to see, lay down foundation or conditions in which maybe in future a full dialogue can take place. Even though we know not all separatist groups got involved in the process. The TIKO camp, maybe we heard they were not involved. And when the government came out and refused or denied the process, this camp, they were jubilating. That it shows that they were not even involved in a kind of fiasco that was taking place and so on. So, but in a nutshell, we applaud the separatist group that even saw the need to negotiate.
Okay.
And then we only hope that maybe in the days ahead, others should come together. And I think the bone of contention in all of this should be maybe an all-Anglophone conference that was negotiated by the late Cardinal Tumi. I think this should be the first thing that should be encouraged before all of this. We cannot mortgage.
Now, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
If the government says keep pulling on with the negotiation, should we be killing our own because the government has refused to engage in genuine talks?
There's one thing you have to understand. All the factions or the warring camps, everybody is trying to position themselves. They don't want to go to the negotiation table on from a weak, clean position.
No, my problem.
That's their reason of putting firearms on ground.
No, my problem.
They want to go to the negotiation table.
Let's keep. No, they have that one is there. Yes. We are looking at now the fallout. Because we are looking at the fallout on the individual, innocent civilian. Yes, putting firearm on the ground. Yes, having AK-47, RPG, having whatever. Yeah, you are entitled to that, as if at all that you have access to those things. But we are talking about the human beings, the civilians, whom you are bringing the firearm to protect. Killing them, will that give you more stronger position on the table?
Yeah, we know that killing innocent civilians, all of these are exaggerations of maybe both camps. The government, the separatists have a name they call them. They call them blacklegs. So to them, they are not looking at them as innocent civilians. They are looking at them as people who are faulting their orders,
and that will force
the orders again.
So that will force you. And now that they have killed, like Doom said, now that they have killed, we hope that they get the keys of independence.
We can only but regret the killings of these innocent people, and we can only call on caution on the separatist fighters to be cautious in their actions, to know that certain actions doesn't bring immediate solutions or expected results. They only draw them far back to the expected results.
Okay. I want to say happy Sunday to you, Frank Pola. Happy Sunday to you, the Maestro de Cora Negro. Frank Pola, the Maestro de Cora Negro. Happy Sunday to you, and also Père GP from the Cora Negro. Happy Sunday to you. And of course, Laurel, who will be celebrating the birthday. That should be on the 14th of February. Happy Sunday to you, and all the members of the Nego Spiritual. Happy Sunday to you. I take on some few messages. This one reads, say, hello, happy birthday, Jarvis. Though a sad day because of the killing in the CDC, please, you guys should stay safe, because the speech of His Excellency President Pobia does not give us any guarantee. Enjoy the cake, and my peace should be given to Doom Emmanuel. This is Max from Germany, a member of our House of Panel team. Max from Germany. This was the first person to give me a birthday present. And thank you very much, Max from Germany. We'll also take on this other message. He says, greetings to you and your panelists. Mr. Jarvis, the government is blamed for the killing of the CDC workers because they have not used the right method to solve the problem. I also blame the voices because they have forgotten their target. They have forgotten their target. Can you imagine these boys beating and killing those who came up with what they are talking about today? Teachers and lawyers were fighting with ideas and not weapons, and they did not kill anybody. Now they are killing the civilians they claim to be protecting. It's a shame. This is Senior from Bamenda. This one right, it says, greetings to you all. Mr. Biya asked the president of France to solve the ongoing Ukraine war, and he is fighting the Southern Cameroon war and refusing the Canadian-led talk to end the war. Thank you very much. This one says, happy birthday, sir. What the other speaker said is true. We are on ground, but when we are on ground, but have never met with any vigilante group. So where are they working, if not the bushes, causing some of these massacres? God love in Bamenda. That is an issue you have raised there, of this vigilante who were giving, I think she was 17 or 15, 70 bites. 70 bites. But the challenge now is, if you, as a journalist, get into some of these investigations, one may end up having some people being arrested because of some other issues, if they are killed at the end of the day. So we will get on this other message. It says, good day, Mr. Tah Mai Jarvis and crew. We should not forget that some groups were created, be it by some government officials or individuals who commit atrocities, and blame on the fighters. So they search genuine cause in order to hang a dog and give it a bad name. Donatus, no writing from Pundu. Donatus, this is the excuse people constantly give over and over and over. This one, good day, Jarvis. I am Erin Nji from Yaoundé. For the 5 deaths at CDC, I feel so sad about it. But then in Cameroon, we have 2 governments, the main government and the Amber government. So any decision that is coming from any of the government, we should obey them. But for me, I don't think the solution of this crisis will come in this present government. Thank you. I think we have just the government of Cameroon, not 2 governments. We just have we just have the crisis ongoing, but for the sake of objectivity, I'm sure we have just one government, President Biya, who is the head of state, guarant of national security, and so you have a right to your analysis. Happy birthday, Jarvis. This is coming from an anonymous sender. This one says, this is Ella Divine writing from Victoria. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Jarvis, and greetings to all there in the house. I want to add to what my brother Mr. Doom is saying. I have listened to him very well, and he has really spoken very well and analyzing the problem very correctly, like he has always been. But what I want to add is to that this war was declared by the president, thinking that it will be in a way out to resolve the crisis, like Mr. Doom said, has just said. Let the president call for stop of this war, and in the other hand, let's be frank, that Amber boys have really spoiled this crisis, that they have just turned the people against them. Most of them are just behaving like wild animals. They have just gone out of hand without control. So they should stop killing their own people. This is coming from an anonymous sender. This one writes, good afternoon, Jarvis, and happy Sunday and happy birthday to you. And I take on some SMSs. This one writes, says, good day, sir. This is Chab T-Base from Limbe. If Martinez was killed in one of the Anglophone regions, it would have been attributed to the Amber boys. Are we sure the Amber boys did this act? This message is happy birthday, Jarvis. Peter from TIKO, mayor of Boya, fighting for ghosts, but and halfway. So we are grasses that suffer, but they should respect order on both sides. Now you are saying we should respect orders from both sides. If government say you should come out, Amber boys say don't come out, and now we should respect orders from both sides. How should we respect this order from both sides? And this one right, it says, happy Sunday to you. The 6 workers are to be blamed, because if they were at home, this would have never happened. Then the government cannot reach because their families are never involved in the tragedy. And this one writes, those bikes are in Cambe, and you should know how the town is. Let those in Europe come to one before the government will know who to dialogue with. Jarvis, I think, happy birthday and good afternoon, Jarvis. I think one have just to take care of his or herself in South and Northwest in terms of this so-called ghost. Once you have not respected the ghost, you might likely fall a victim. Emmanuel Jeff, writing from the West region. Happy birthday, bro. The truth is, beer is not helping in any way. So try and stay safe. This one right, it says, greetings to you, happy birthday, Jarvis. As much as we blame the government for bad governance, the killing from the separatists is something we honestly should condemn. They can't kill to protect us and continue killing us. We are not safe. Terence Ayok writing. This one right, it says, happy birthday, Jarvis. Greetings to you on board. For no reason should a life be taken. The Amber Boys should be aware that the blood of those innocent people will haunt them till the last day. This is coming from Henry in Douala. Good afternoon in the studio. I bet you so much to blame the Rambos from killing innocent civilians who went out to fight for their families. Does it make sense that you go on empty stomach before supporting your so-called Amber fighters? It is right time we come out massively and shout out all those bush fighters who no longer have human feelings. This is coming from Frank in Boya. All of you are just wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your birthday wishes. Also, it will also be good that I also receive birthday gifts now, not just only wishes.
Yes, it's important. It's very important.
Okay,
if the head of state can be receiving it every day, why not Jarvis?
Of course. My number is on the screen if you want to give me a gift. Let's dive straight on the second topic briefly. We have just a few minutes. Bia's youth day speech, the promise, the doubt, and the achievement. Which one do you go for within the way you listen to the speech?
Let me take all very briefly. I think 3-4 minutes will be enough. It is very nothing was strange for Mr. Bia to have come out to make a speech on the 10th of February 2023. It was a speech like any other one that answers your part of the promise. So he respected his promise that he must speak on the 10th of February. The doubts are that the same things he has been saying are the same things he repeated. And I want to pick on some of them very quickly. Mr. Bia talked of agriculture and calling on youths to embrace agriculture seriously because it is the backbone of the economy, which of course, in reality, if it could be realized, all of us would have loved to be behind him. The question is, what has the government been doing to support the youths in the domain of agriculture? You know that in Cameroon, before you obtain land, there is a particular age limit that is put by the government. That alone is already an embargo. That's one. Two, Cameroon government has never for once thought in 40 years of Mr. Bia's reign in power that mechanized agriculture could be a way out for the economy as a whole. That explains why you have tractors germinating in Ebola in the place of seeds. We were taught that only seeds could germinate if they are planted. But in this country, tractors have been germinating in Ebola for a long time. In his village, planted by him. Then he comes out to tell us that we need to embrace agriculture. It is sad, very sad. Still in this domain of agriculture, we have vibrant Cameroonian youths who have chosen to work, not because Mr. Bia told them to work, because of the suffering they have gone through. They go to southwest, they go to northwest, they go to east, they work. By the end of the day, is there a route for them to transport their produce from the farms to the market? No, we don't have. So who is discouraging youth from agriculture in this country? Mr. Biya and his government. He talked about education, and I was asking myself, which type of education is this man talking again in 2023? Because we know Cameroon has prioritized grammar education over technical education. Technical education has completely been abandoned. We see grammar school Moliko, GBHS Fundong, GBHS Uptown, GBHS Etukebe, littered everywhere. How many GTHS do we have in this country? And the few that we have, how well equipped are those schools in order to make sure that those people who pass through these schools come out self-sustainable, self-sufficient? Our education has not been skill-oriented. It has been grammar-oriented. We blow grammar every day, yet there is nothing we can fabricate. We have seen young children in this country fabricate artificial helicopters, and many other things. Yet the government, it never dawned to the government that it was time for them to take such people, use them, promote them, and then create an institution where they could practice this know-how and then pass it on to other Cameroonians. So I think Mr. Biya remains in his posture of slogans and speeches, of whom he has been celebrated for so much. He talked about morals. We know that the moral decadence that is killing Cameroon today is coming from the top. Those who are at the helm of affairs in this country are not models. Take all the ministries in this country and tell me one minister that a youth can be able to take for a model.
Secondary education.
No, please don't go there. People who steal, people who embezzle, people who lie in public, people who kill, can they be taken as models by the youth?
People who are killed within the ministry.
Was Zogo killed by me?
But it's still, investigation is still ongoing.
No, suspects are there, which means that something is fishy.
But
let me learn, Jarvis. None of these people should give us any moral lesson. They cannot be taken for models. And since they cannot be taken for models, I use this platform to thank Cameroonian youths for being so mature. Because Cameroonian youths were not very mature and they were to follow the footprints of these people who call themselves our leaders, the Cameroonian society would have been finished. Let me end with this point. On the 10th of February 2016, President Biya himself came out with a plan called PTS, Plan Triennial Special pour les Jeunes. That is a special plan for the youth. A budget of 102 billion was pumped into it. I have made findings, Jarvis, in Northwest, and I can authoritatively say that not up to 4% of the Northwest youth ever benefited from this project. Where then did this money go to? You and I all know where it went to. And I can authoritatively say that the 4% that benefited were those who were linked to either a mayor, a councillor, an SDO of the locality, or to the top influential elite. Those who came from the poorest backgrounds till date have never benefited from such a plan. So when you keep coming out, giving beautiful speeches, beautiful slogans, and none has ever been realized, I think the youth of Cameroon should have hope. But that hope should not be coming from Mr. Biya. They should have hope to work on their own. Mr. Biya is completely cut off from the realities that the youth are suffering. Because to come and tell us that civil service should not be the dream of everybody. In a country where everybody pays taxes, and also dream to be a civil servant, to tell us that we should not dream of becoming a civil servant one day is simply telling us that those people who were already there and they have prepared a way for their family lineage to remain there should remain there, while some of us carry our crude tools, go back to the farms, clear bare hands, dig with holes and pick axes.
Okay.
It means Mr. Biya has no offer for the youth, and the youth of Cameroon, anybody, and he has succeeded in making some of the youth his praise singers who go on television singing praises. And the question I'll be asking these youth: which position do you as a youth occupy in Mr. Biya's government?
Okay, we are out of time, Doom. This message very important, right? It says, "I urge you to be self-employed." With this statement, the youth of Cameroon should now understand that they are on their own. No need to rely on the government. This is Romy from Buria. Briefly, we have just 3 minutes because we're supposed to end at least 1 minute ahead of time. Your reaction for Biya's speech? What did you actually take out from it?
What I noticed that his speech, first of all, is not being listened by the youths. The youths are not interested in CCA, except those who are in some organizations that maybe on that day they are together. Sometimes they put them to watch. If you make a study, you will notice that when he's making his speech, just go around the quarters and see whether there is a youth. It is his youth. His speech is being listened to by the elders and not even the youth. Yeah, his friends, parents, some of them who are sitting in the house. And I noticed he promised to the youth that he's going to stand by them for the progress of the country. And the last year he said that the youth should preserve peace and unity that we are proud of. And all these things he's saying, there's none of them that is reality today. And I believe that his speeches every year, if I want to analyze it, it's like the youths are like the patient dog that they said. The patient dog, it's the fattest bone. The youths have been waiting, and they will die. They will end up dying without even testing the bone, because we continue making speeches and we don't see anything. The reality. That's why it becomes boring, and the youth. Jarvis, I came through a situation where a youth in the West region, Tonga, invested in the tomato farm 1.3 million, and unfortunately for him, it is a year that we saw these tricycles moving around here selling basket for 1.5, sometime for 2,000. What happened? He abandoned the farm and did not harvest it, because he explained to me that he has to hire a dinner to the farm. He will hire people for daily work, and then he will buy those baskets for 300, take them to the farm. It means that the cost that he will incur will be more than what he would say, so he abandoned them. So we need these things. So, if the government were really serious, like those are sectors that we could have been talking today, having a warehouse that we can save perishable goods, so that youths who have listened to the head of state speech and are trying to put it into practice should not be disappointed, like I've just said like this. So we are still to see the promises that have been given to the youths.
Anu, briefly, we are 1 minute to go. President Biya's speech, what was so striking for you?
Nothing. It was just a normal speech as usual, and my personal impression is that the president is not the one writing those speeches. Most of the times, those speeches are just written and given to him to read. He's not in touch with the realities on ground, and many youths are not even interested in what he says. And even going to the question of a youth, the question of a youth in Cameroon is very confusing. We don't know who is a youth in Cameroon. We don't know the age bracket of who a youth is supposed to be in Cameroon, a country where the supposed ministry of youth is controlled by an ancestor. Is a call for concern. So the Cameroonian youths are on their own. That's why you see them running out of the country every day, because there is no hope for them. In any country, you are supposed to give the youth the hope. if the function of every leadership, you don't give your young people hope,
okay,
you abandon them. They just have to find their way out and then look for a safer zone to be.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Duwun, for coming.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Just to say that very quick, that the problems of the youth in Cameroon are too many that the president can take 14 minutes to address them.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jarvis. I'll end by saying that the new president that will take power in Cameroon should learn a lesson from declaration of war, because we have seen 2 declarations and rain is falling on us. One was declared and rain started falling in the north today, and the second one was declaring and the rain is still falling today. Let the person that will take power after President Pobia learn a lesson from this. Once more,
who killed gendarmes, not against the people from the northwest.
Let me just greetings to my friends who are watching. Yes.
Talk about the president. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Tah Mai Jarvis, and we hope for a new Cameroon, not with the present ancestors in place. We hope that maybe in the days, or in the months, or in the years ahead, a new Cameroon will be given back. Thank you.
Thank you all who took our time to watch us. I want to thank you, Reverend Father John Paul Akumchi, for the birthday gift. Thank you also, Reverend Father Mai Edwin, for the birthday gift. Daisy and Sakem, thank you very much for the birthday gift. I want to also thank you, Efeti. I want to thank you all those who took our time to wish me a special happy birthday. And I am still waiting for most of you, my fervent viewers, your presents for the birthday gift. My number is on your screen. You can reach me out to know the location of celebration, or you want to also offer me a bottle of water, because I don't drink beer. Thank you. No matter the matter, what matters is your matter, and what should matter for you is that you join me for +1 year. Bye-bye.